What the fuck do you want?
Hello and welcome to another week of What the Fuck Do You Want? This week on very short notice we have the lovely Kurt Lewin. How are you?
Yeah, hi, I'm doing well, thanks.
I have to thank you. You really came through last minute on this one.
No, it's fine. I've got today kind of booked off to do a watching of the next Avengers film for my podcast, so I've got all day free basically.
Very good. So if there is any shortcomings in the next episode, it's my fault.
no, I'll have plenty of time to get it watched.
Well, I suppose we better get on point here. Kurt, you don't swear, do you, Kurt?
You're the first person to ever notice that. Not that it's not, I don't want to seem as if I'm some kind of person that thinks they're high and mighty for not swearing. And to be honest, I do swear very, very occasionally when the emotions arise it out of me. But other than that, I'm not really someone that swears a lot like a sailor or anything.
Yeah, normally I love swearing at people, hence why I chose the name of the show. I've just realised I don't think I've ever... Yeah. I feel bad for swearing at you on this one.
No, don't worry about it at all. No. Yeah.
If that's the case, Kurt, what the fuck do you want?
So, I am a huge fan of Rockstar games. But in the last few years, ever since really the release of GTA 5, there has been GTA 5, GTA Online, and Red Dead Redemption 2. Now, don't get me wrong; they're both fantastic games.
Oh yeah, brilliant entries.
So what I want is a return back to the good old days of when Rockstar used to make games other than GTA and Red Dead. So I'm talking about games like Bully, Midnight Club, Max Payne,
Manhunt.
Yeah, LA Noire, even though that's kind of not them, but...
Yeah, it is under their banner. I guess you would call it a Rockstar.
Yeah, and even going to the point of like the GTA spin-offs with stuff like Liberty City Stories and Vice City Stories, Chinatown Wars, they were all on portable.
Yeah, there were PSP when that first came out.
Yeah,
spin-off of GTA 3. It was very impressive at the time.
Yeah. That was my main reason for getting the PSP. And yeah, it was pretty mind-blowing at the time.
Yeah, it was, especially when you compared it to the DS, when you had the two side by side. It seemed like there was no competition at all.
So yeah, that's kind of what I would really want to see.
Yeah, I'd be impressed to see that too. I do miss the days of every day Rockstar announced a new game, there was a big media storm that followed it.
Yeah, it just seems as if that GTA and Red Dead have both gotten so big now in terms of how much resources they demand in manpower that...
When you can understand that, Grand Theft Auto 5, what's that, 3 generations, and it's...
Well, yeah.
Must be the biggest grossing game of all time by now.
Yeah, and so, yeah, it's understandable, because they have got quite a few studios dotted around the world, and I think like the old GTA games on like PS2 was just all at Rockstar North.
Yeah.
Whereas now it seems for GTA 5 and Red Dead,
does seem to be all hands on deck.
They're getting everyone all over.
Between all the studios.
Yeah, because the games like the portable GTA games, I believe they were done collaboration with like Rockstar Leeds, and I remember seeing the logo for Rockstar San Diego.
That's right. Even on Chinatown Wars for the DS, I think that was them.
Yeah, right.
But the memory wouldn't be the best.
But the one game or series that I want to see a return to most is Bully. Like I'd want that more than a new GTA or Red Dead.
Yeah, Bully was fantastic. Was there a rumoured sequel for a while?
Yeah, there has been. I do think that maybe that there is so much rumour around that
yeah, generally there's no smoke without fire.
It could possibly happen. Yeah,
I'd love to see a return to
there was
that.
Also I remember there was also that E3 where they came out and announced Agent. You remember that?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, goodness knows what happened to that.
It is such a shame. Even Manhunt, there was rumours when I was probably still in school. The Wii came out and there was going to be a version that let you perform all the brutality kills with motion controls. Again, there was an outroar over this. You'd see them doing something like that for VR.
Yeah.
Just to get the papers going again.
Didn't Manhunt 2 come out on the Wii?
Yeah, but it didn't have the feared real-time murder simulation.
Right, okay.
Shame, but...
Okay, I'm must confess that the Manhunt games, I didn't play either of them.
Mm-hmm.
I'd imagine I'd probably like them.
Due a remaster, I'd say now they've probably aged quite badly. I remember only playing them because they were quite so gory.
Yeah.
They didn't have a lot else going for them apart from that.
Right.
Did you ever play The Warriors?
No, that was another Rockstar game that passed me by.
It's another gem.
Or table tennis.
I can't believe you've come to this without playing table tennis. I don't like to throw fake fan around, Kurt, but... Oh.
Well, yeah. I did play Midnight Club, though, which is one that I think maybe not that many people have played.
Yeah, a lot of people miss that one.
Yeah. I thought that was one of the better kind of arguably better than like Need for Speed, like modern cars.
People are really hurting for a good arcade racer now.
Yeah. Well, this is kind
of... There is somebody that listens that is a big fan of Dirt 5, and I hold that statement.
Sorry, say that again.
There is somebody that listens that's a big Dirt 5 fan, and I mean every word I say.
Right.
No good arcade racers.
Oh, no, I agree with you on Dirt 5. That was very disappointing for me.
So, if we were going into Rockstar, would you like to see a new IP, or is there one especially? By the sounds of it, you'd like another Bully?
Yeah, definitely another Bully. Like, if I could choose, I'd love it to be set in the UK again, but in like a public school rather than private school like the last one. Like just some kind of random...
Yeah, because I'm sure you could pull some story reasons to explain why the protagonist was held back a couple of years or expelled from school and moved to another.
Yeah, I think the prospect of doing it in a public school... Well, I just need to clarify first, because I always get mixed up with these. A public school is just what like your average kid's going to go to, isn't it?
Yeah.
If they went to having it set in a public school, I would just think that there's a lot more scope there than a private school.
Yeah, generally public schools be quite a bit bigger. You'd have quite a range of different backgrounds.
Yeah. Exactly.
Even for characters, yeah, you have so much more to work with.
Especially with like how Rockstar likes to, with the setting, and they like to kind of make fun about whatever is happening at the time. So I can imagine them getting a lot of humour out of stuff like social media around kids at the moment.
Well, I think we can all remember back to when we were at school, and everybody can pull at least 5 stories of something that happened.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
you could just pull a lot of these stories, throw them into the game. Yeah,
stuff like playground rumours, playground crazes. Yeah,
you could have the one kid that sells stuff out of the locker. That could be your upgrades inventory.
Yeah, random. And then you could also like have like the whole town open to you as well, so you can like you did in the first game.
Does happen to if you wanted to take it online, you could always have rival schools.
Yep, you could. I think that personally, I'd think that they shouldn't go down that route again of doing another online game, like, because I don't think Red Dead is.
Oh, as you say, the amount of resources tied up in GTA 5, I'm sure they don't want to spread themselves any thinner.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, another Bully would be my ideal scenario, but I'd be up for another new IP as well, something like Agent.
Is there anything that? Yeah. Oh, sorry. Continue.
Yeah, something like Agent, because I think there is a lack of like spy games these days.
Stealth, when done right, is such a compelling gameplay mechanic.
Yeah.
Big fans of Dishonored.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know if Rockstar would be able to pull it off, and because even though I really love their games, I'd never say that the gameplay is particularly deep.
No, I even playing Red Dead 2, and I put a lot of time into that game. Even towards the end of the game, I was still accidentally punching my horse.
Yeah, exactly.
Just because the controls escaped me.
Like if you think of all the stuff you can do in Dishonored, and then how Rockstar would try and do systems like that.
Transcribe that to a controller.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, any kind of new IP doesn't necessarily have to be open world, because we've seen with games like Manhunt, they can do linear.
Yeah, especially when you see how popular the likes of God of War has been, and that's slightly open world, but not on a grand scale.
Yeah.
So people do seem to enjoy linear experiences that don't take 60, 70 hours.
Yeah. My only possible worry would be that it seems over the past year or so they've lost some quite key figures at the company. Like
yeah, I remember reading this.
It's one of the Hauser brothers has left. Yeah. The guy that plays Laszlo
Mm-hmm.
in the GTA games, he does more than just the voice acting. I think he does some writing as well.
Yeah.
So
you've lost quite a bit of character before you've started.
yeah,
I'm sure they're not short on talent in the studio, but when somebody's already done well, you kind of want to hold on to that person.
yeah.
How do you think people would react to a Rockstar game like that today? It is somewhat a different climate. Like Bully especially, it had a lot of stereotypes running around it.
Yeah, I think you're still going to get controversy,
Mm-hmm.
but you are going to get controversy with anything Rockstar puts out.
Yeah, I can't see them releasing without.
No, it's kind of no publicity is bad publicity for them.
Yeah, that definitely seems true in their case.
Red Dead 2 was probably the least controversial in terms of the content of the game, from what I remember.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, you still had the controversy with regards to like crunch and culture.
Yeah, that did come around at the same time.
So
Then again, I think you could do some pretty heinous things in Red Dead 2.
yeah,
It wasn't as loaded to the front as like Grand Theft Auto.
yeah, I remember with GTA 5, the controversy was around the mission where you torture those people.
Yes, Trevor, full stop.
Yeah,
It wasn't the drug use, it was the cruelty.
yeah. But yeah, in Red Dead, it seemed more in line. It seemed more in context with what a cowboy
Yeah, I
would.
suppose pioneering times, it was the Wild West.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, you'd run into somebody's cabin, torch up a family, run out again.
yeah. The mainstream media don't really seem to have a problem with that, relative to if you're doing the same thing but in a modern house instead.
Yeah, I think even when GTA is set on a different time frame, it always feels current as you're playing it.
Yeah,
Even Vice City felt very current, even though it was set in the 80s.
yeah. I've no doubt that when they do another GTA, I would like them to not do a modern setting again. Like I'd be up for an 80s setting again.
Yeah, it would be nice to go back. It's like Life on Mars, I believe, only started as a time traveling piece because they wanted the police to get away with things they did in the 70s.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
So, yeah, throwing questionnaires downstairs and hitting them. You can't get away with that in modern settings.
no, like some of the dialogue that they use.
Yeah, certainly get frowned on now.
Yeah. I'd like to ask you, are you of the same opinion as me as that you'd like them to make a return to doing some other stuff?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I wouldn't be the biggest Grand Theft Auto fan, but Bully, Red Dead, very, very big fan. I'm not sure if they still hold the rights to Lemmings anymore,
Right.
but it has forever confused me why Lemmings isn't on mobiles or tablets, because I think those styles of puzzle game would be perfect,
Yeah.
given the big screen.
Yeah, and it seemed as if it wouldn't be too resource intensive just to get them ported across.
Especially at the moment with things like Minecraft's so popular because there's a creative element to it.
Yeah.
There's no reason you couldn't make your own Lemmings levels.
Yeah.
Definitely be more fun than Mario Maker.
Right, yeah. So what about stuff like Bully?
Yeah, I'd love to see Bully. Again, I know it shouldn't go hand in hand. I always remember the headlines whenever a game like that released. The game that allowed you to bully other children, even though that's not what it was.
Yeah. And
I do wonder if that would affect them more now because we do kind of indulge on news a little bit more than we did then.
yeah, because social media wasn't really a thing back then, whereas
No.
it was reported in.
And if it was generally younger people that shared it around to laugh at it,
Yeah.
whereas now it's a bit more of a viable news source.
Yeah. I remember they actually even had to change the name of the game in the UK initially. It was actually,
That's right, they changed to the Latin.
yeah, Canis Canem Edit.
Yeah.
Like, it's a good job Rockstar was behind the game, otherwise, that just based on the name, no one would.
That should have been dead in the water
Yeah.
if it was any other company.
If you release Canis Canem Edit now as a 2D Metroidvania. with
2D Metroidvania where you run around to school. Yeah, bullying people. I'd play that.
Yeah, same.
I can't believe that's it actually covered. We've covered a lot of ground with that one.
Yeah. I've as I said to you offline, I've got plenty of other ideas for future episodes if you ever would like me on again.
Oh, definitely. For some reason, people don't like me and don't want to come on to record a session.
Right. No, it's been very, very enjoyable, and it's good to get this demand off my chest.
That's good. It's a healthy place to do it, just to unload. So did you play much of GTA 5? Would you be a fan of the online?
So I played the single player extensively.
Mhm.
I completed it twice because I played it once when it first came out on PS3,
Yeah.
and then I bought the PS4 version, and I did dabble online, but I just had the problems with it. Just took far too long to get into games.
Yeah, you really, if you weren't paying hard, cold money, it was very hard to do that in game.
Well, no, I just mean whether for like server problems.
Oh, apologies.
I was just sat in lobbies forever.
Oh, that sounds even worse.
Yeah. So and that was years ago, so I don't know if they've improved it a lot, but I don't get the impression from what I read online from people that still play it that it has improved that much. So I'd think that whatever the next game is, it's got to make the servers a lot better, and you'd think that they'd have the money to do that.
Well, there is the fella. Did he shorten loading times? They ended up giving him shares.
Oh yes, yeah, that's right.
I think there was a Eurogamer article
Yeah,
on
I
it.
remember that. Yeah, so yeah, that's a good point.
And will you be...
And now they're doing the remaster for PS5, but I think
I was just going to ask if you were going to dip back in for that.
the only reason I would be if they've added some more single player stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember that originally they were supposed to do single player DLC, which just seemed to get put on the back burner.
Yeah, that was my biggest gripe with Red Dead 2, was we never got any story DLC, because it seemed like C.D. Adler in Mexico would have made for a fantastic add-on.
Yeah.
And if it's not Red Dead 3, then somebody needs shot.
Yeah. It would have to be some substantial new single player stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, I think I'd probably wait till it was be a bit cheaper, because it's no doubt going to launch at 70 quid, which
Yeah,
for a
if it
remaster is...
launches at the premium Sony price.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people will be on that boat.
Yeah, so I totally understand the arguments that many people think 70 quid is too much, and some people think that it's fine if the quality of the game is good enough. But I think for a remaster,
Yeah,
it is too much.
like I'm sure there is hard work has gone into it.
Yeah,
But I don't know, the £70 price mark is a mental barrier for me, because it goes from hobby to investment.
yeah. Like I've mentioned this on on Discord and Twitter before, but yeah, there's only like 3 games that I'd be willing to pay 70 quid for, and that's like the ones that I know that I'd really love.
Yeah,
Arguably a new GTA would be one of those.
yeah, full experience. Do you think GTA 6 is anywhere close to being done?
Not close, no, but I definitely think it should be in the works.
Mm-hmm.
I'd predict like 2020, late 2023, maybe.
Yeah, because you'd imagine they wouldn't be wasting their time releasing the full 5 remaster if it was just a few months away.
And I'd also think that they've probably been working on it since Red Dead was released, and even though they're doing this remaster, I can't imagine they've got the whole studio doing this remaster. It's probably just some side team somewhere doing it.
Yeah, it is a shame. I would love to see Red Dead 2 get the same treatment, but I imagine that's the next year.
Yeah.
That game's still so pretty.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, even on the Xbox One. Yeah.
Although it did make some awful noises to the PlayStation while I was playing it on that.
Yeah.
That's one thing I do not miss.
Yeah, like we're recording this just shortly after the new Horizon game has been shown off, and yeah, I wonder what noises that's going to create out if you're going to play it on a standard PS4.
I would definitely just need a dedicated cooling unit. Just refrigerate your living room. Right, well, Kurt, I have to thank you for that. Again, you played a blinder given such short notice too.
No, it's been fun.
So we'll start winding down.
Thanks for inviting me on.
Oh, not at all. It was an absolute pleasure, and possibly the least sweary episode I'll ever record.
Probably ever will as well.
Yeah. So, thank you for bettering me.
No.
Would you like to talk a bit about the Neverwatchers?
Oh, yeah. I also run another podcast. Well, not run. I co-host another podcast with...
Look, Pete's not here. Just take all the credit.
No. So basically the concept is that I am totally new to the Marvel universe. film universe.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm watching the films in order of release every couple of weeks, and then afterwards I discuss each film with my co-host Pete, who is a Marvel expert.
Yeah, and that man carries a lot of trivia in his head for the Marvel movies.
Yeah. So it's often a fun discussion, and it's good to hear his opinions and how they might contrast with my initial thoughts on the films.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the last recording we did was Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm about to watch
Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah, that was my favourite so far. Now we're going to move on to...
I think I would watch anything James Gunn does.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch Super?
No, I've not seen that. Yeah. Super.
Fantastic. Best superhero movie ever.
What's it called? Sorry, Super.
Super, yeah.
Right. Okay.
Kevin Bacon's in it. He's the bad guy.
Right. Okay, I'll make a note of that.
If it gets a spin-off episode, I want to hear that.
Right. It doesn't tie into Marvel, does it?
No, it's a separate entity.
Right, okay.
It's more similar to Kick-Ass, if you've ever seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah, guy quite fond of superheroes, comics, decides to do it himself, but in a very real setting.
Right, cool.
Lots of awkward comedy, my kind of thing.
Yeah.
What's the next episode you've got lined up?
The Avengers Age of Ultron.
Yes.
So that's what I'm going to start watching straight after this.
The Avengers ones are a bit longer too, aren't they?
Yeah, it seems this one says 2 hours 20 minutes, which for me means about 2 hours 5 minutes, because there's about 15 minutes credits.
I love that Disney Plus now has the option where you can just skip straight to the Easter egg at the end of the credits.
Yeah, that's been very useful.
The amount of people that sat in the cinema wishing for that.
Yeah, that's and if you want to follow us on Twitter, it's at NeverWatchers.
Perfect.
And if you want to follow me for some reason, it was at Angry_Kurt.
And your account is even better than the Never Watchers.
Yeah, well, if you like dad jokes anyway, yeah.
Yeah, you have become quite a dab hand at this. Where did that come from?
I don't know, I just love puns and dad jokes. So if I don't know, so I'll just see something or hear something on the radio, and then it just gets my mind racing of how can I fit this into a pun. Which I know it's an acquired taste, but I'm a huge fan of.
No, it literally seemed to start one day.
Right, I don't know. Yeah, maybe I just got a taste for it. It might have coincided with. So I'm a huge fan of a comedian called Milton Jones, but he's definitely an acquired taste because it's literally you go and watch him, and it's all just one-liners throughout the whole show. There's no like long story stuff, but it just gets me like on the floor.
Yeah, Jimmy Carr used to do a similar setup back when he started.
Right.
And he would have a bit of solid hour of just one-liners, or I think he did 3-word jokes at one stage.
Right.
This is before he got comfortable sitting behind a desk and reading scripts.
Yeah.
Well, I think we should wrap that up for another day, because I think this fun fair actually is testing their speakers now.
Right.
So thanks very much, Kurt.
No, it's fine.
I'll get all the links thrown on whenever the episode uploads.
Thanks.
No, cheers for that, and all the best. Cheers now. What's cracking, crackers? The note about the fun fair, that wasn't a bit of random humour. There actually is a fun fair being set up behind the house, and you could hear it quite a bit, which hopefully you didn't after all the editing. It's just that people were asking you to scream if you wanted to go faster, and I just don't have the ability to fulfill that wish, as much as I may want to. Another note is, Kurt was asked on very short notice, and I didn't get to do any homework on Rockstar, so I didn't really have a lot of questions for him. I think that showed in the running length. So I hope you'll forgive me this once. Next time we get him on, hopefully it'll be for the full half hour. Now, until next week, get fucked. I really didn't get to say that enough during the show.